But Ambatta, in the pursuit of this unexcelled attainment of knowledge and conduct, there are 4 paths of failure. What are they? In the first place, an ascetic or brahmin who has not managed to gain this unexcelled attainment takes his carrying pole and plunges into the depths of the forest, thinking, I will live on windfalls. But in this way, he only becomes an attendant on one who has attained. This is the first path of failure. Again, an ascetic or brahmin, being unable to live on windfalls, takes a spade and basket, thinking, I will live on tubers and roots. This is the second path of failure. Again, an ascetic or brahmin, being unable to live on tubers and roots, makes a fire hearth at the edge of a village or small town and sits tending the flame. This is the third path of failure. Again, an ascetic or brahmin, being unable to tend the flame, erects a house with 4 doors at the crossroads, thinking, whatever ascetic or brahmin arrives from the 4 quarters, I will honor to the best of my strength and ability. But in this way, he only becomes an attendant on one who has attained to unexcelled knowledge and conduct. This is the fourth path of failure. What do you think, Ambatta? Do you and your teacher live in accordance with this unexcelled knowledge and conduct? No, indeed, Reverend Sir. Who are my teacher and I in comparison? We are far from it. Well then, Ambatta, could you and your teacher, being unable to gain this, go with your carrying poles into the depths of the forest, intending to live on windfalls? No, indeed, Reverend Gotama. Well then, Ambatta, could you and your teacher, being unable to gain this, live on tubers and roots, or sit tending the flame, or erect a house and honor the ascetics and Brahmins who arrive. And he said, no, indeed, Reverend Gotama. And so, Ambatta, not only are you and your teacher incapable of attaining this unexcelled knowledge and conduct, but even the 4 paths of failure are beyond you. And yet you and your teacher, the Brahmin Pokrasati, utter these words, these shaven little ascetics, menials, black scrapings from Brahma's foot. What converse can they have with Brahmins learned in the 3 Vedas? Even though you can't even manage the duties of one who has failed. See, Ambatta, how your teacher has let you down. So the Buddha asked Ambatta, do you and your teacher attain all these charana and vijacharana, conduct and knowledges? And he said no. Then do you go into the forest and live on windfalls? And he said no. Or do you go into the forest and live on tubers and roots? Also he said no. Or do you live by the edge of a village and tend the flame? And again he said no. Or do you erect a house and do dana, offerings to ascetics? And again he said no. So he said even the 4 parts of failure also you cannot do, and yet you look down on ascetics and call them black scrapings from Brahma's foot. Ambatta, the Brahmin Pokrasati lives by the grace and favor of King Pasenadi of Kosala, and yet the king does not allow him to have audience face to face. When he confers with the king, it is through a curtain. Why should the king not grant audience face to face to one on whom he has bestowed a proper and blameless source of revenue? See how your teacher has let you down. I stop here again. So here, the Pokrasati, he is given some land and by the king, and yet whenever he wants to see the king will not see him face to face. He has to go behind a curtain. So you see this warrior caste, they treat the Brahmins really low, and yet the Brahmins always claim that they are the superior caste. What do you think, Ambatta? What have you heard said by the Brahmins who are venerable, aged, the teachers of teachers, those first sages, Ataka, etc.? Did they enjoy themselves well bathed, perfumed, their hair and beards trimmed, adorned with garlands and wreaths, dressed in white clothes, indulging in the pleasures of the 5 senses, and addicted to them, as you and your teacher do now? No, Reverend Gotama. Or did they eat special fine rice with the black spots removed, with various soups and curries, as you and your teacher do now? No, Reverend Gautama. Or did they amuse themselves with women dressed up in flounces and furbelows, as you and your teacher do now? No, Reverend Gautama. Or did they ride around in chariots drawn by mares with braided tails that they urged on with long goad sticks? No, Reverend Gautama. Or did they have themselves guarded in fortified towns with palisades and barricades by men with long swords? No, Reverend Gautama. So, Ambata, neither you nor your teacher are a sage or one trained in the way of a sage. Stop here for a moment. So.